Hey friends, how you doing? Welcome back to my channel. It is TheTranspondster here with you, and today we are doing a speed build. We are in one of the base game worlds over in Newcrest, and this home is going to be still the Louisiana, New Orleans inspired feel, but we're moving from that Baton Rouge neighborhood over to an Oak Hills inspired neighborhood, and we're going to have this nice grand bungalow here. It's going to look fairly modest from the front because it's going to be very flat, but we do get a little bit more character to the build when we spin it around to the back side, so don't fret there. It isn't going to be a totally boring and plain home. It just looks like it from the gallery upload and potentially the thumbnail. We'll see how I do in my screenshots. I haven't gotten that far. We're doing the voiceover first. But anyways, the family that's going to be living here is created already as well. They are uploaded on my channel. If you wanted to go meet them, I created, oh gosh, how many Sims? 5 Sims and 2 little doggies to live here. So in the main home, you're going to have 4 Sims, an adult couple, their teenage son, and a child daughter. And then the wife's sister, who is a young adult, will be living in that back building, which I would think would be a pool house, but has turned into almost a guest house apartment. With for rent, you can fully section it off for your Sims. I don't upload it to the gallery as a dual household lot, just for the sake of download. At least that way, if someone doesn't have for rent, they're only missing out on the items that I would have used throughout the build, not the whole lot itself. It just felt like the fair way to do it. It's also a little bit glitchy to upload rentals on the gallery and fairly easy to section that off yourself. And I thought it was nice that they could share the little pool area. Originally, I had tried to get 2 entrances on it, but when I was doing the furnishing, I kind of forgot, so that did get missed. I don't think it's that huge of a deal because really, if we're going with the pool house idea, it would only have the door in the backyard, because why would you want access to a pool house from outside the lot? And also it's family, so it doesn't really matter that it's not totally private. I also had another oopsie in building this lot. I put the laundry in first in the kitchen. I made a very intentional space for it, and then I totally forgot that that existed when it came time to decorate the bathrooms. So you will see me throw in another washer and dryer, but I do realize almost immediately after, so I do end up taking the bathroom one out and leaving the kitchen one. I do make this kitchen look a little bit more outdated. I know it doesn't really match the vibe of the matriarch of the family if you have watched the Create a Sim video, but I think it is realistic to not have the whole home totally updated and fully to your style. So I think the important thing is the cleanliness and, the ultimate decorating of the home. So that's where the real personality shines through, not in your kitchen counters, because I feel like that is a huge renovation to undertake. And honestly, some people might just not do it for the sake of not having to live through a kitchen renovation, because to me that sounds like a total nightmare, not having full use of your kitchen and all your stuff packed away while it's in process. So yeah, not something that sounds intriguing for me. I wanted to squeeze in 8 chairs at this dining table, but space wise, comfortably, I felt like we could fit 6, so that's what I went for. Plus, we do have the island you could always add a couple stools at, or add some chairs at the end if you're having a big party over. most likely all your Sims are not going to sit down together anyways. And even if you got this whole family to sit down and have dinner together, there is still one chair free. So the dogs will not be sitting at the kitchen table, they'll be sitting underneath it waiting for the droppings. A lot of the furniture that I picked, I would say, has a traditional feel to it. I want to say that it would fall under the missionary furniture style category, but I didn't sort by that. I toyed with getting some custom art in this lot, but I couldn't really find any that I liked. I wanted to get some dog themed art because it is a dog loving family, but I ended up just throwing a little chalkboard over the dog bowls and calling it a day. I like how it looks. It looks clean and cute. So I also even tuck a chair in the corner for you to scoot on over as an extra. Very simple, very minimal clutter in the dining room. I didn't want to go too overboard. The wife is pretty neat. Plus the foyer is a little bit more cluttered with furniture. So any extra storage that your Sims hypothetically need would be in the hallway here. I feel like those drawers in that cabinet would all be junk drawers, like dead mail and keys that no one knows what they're for, random post-it notes and pens that maybe they're dead, maybe they're not. So we all have one of those drawers, right? Or something like a drawer if it's not a drawer exactly. I always throw a little seat at the front door too for some reason. Maybe it's because my grandparents always had one to sit and put your shoes on when we were growing up, and it's just that homey touch for me. I don't know. It just feels wrong if my home doesn't have a chair near the front door. So it's something I do quite often. I also had a lot of room to play with in this living room, so I do get some few fun activities for the family members to enjoy. We get a toy box in the living room for the child and really her older brother when he was growing up as well. And then we have a dartboard in the back behind the couches for dad and now son if he wants to join in, but probably more so for dad and his friends when they come on by. His businessy friends that all have money goals in life, want to be the richest Sims out there, have the fanciest houses. I feel like he would get along well with Mortimer Goth if they ever met, just because they both have similar life goals and personalities, I would say. I love that they've been adding record players into the game. My partner and I are big into vinyls, so it's a nice touch to have that now in my Sims homes. I feel like the only really music focused sim in this home is the son, so it's not like they're gathering around their record player often, but it is something that they have for when they do have friends over. It's nice to just throw a record on and it feels a little bit more purposeful than just any Spotify playlist or Apple playlist that you search up at the drop of a hat to fill out a party with some sound. I struggled with picking curtains in this lot. I've been defaulting actually to the seasons curtains a little bit more lately, which is a weird curtain for me to fall back on because I feel like previously I never used them because the swatches aren't that awesome, but I was going for a purple feel in that living room. Like I said in the Create a Sim video for the family living here, the mother loves her romantic colors on top of her neutrals, so those will be the little pops of colors that you'll see through here. And then the daughter's room, she is a child sim, so she is very into the cutesy pastel pinks, purples, blues. I really like how these fitness stuff pack rugs worked out in this hallway. There are no runners that are long enough to fill this out that aren't super old-timey grandma feeling, so this was a nice basic neutral rug to use. And we can't forget the two little dogs that we have, so we're throwing in a little pet bed and toy box for them as well. And then they had their food bowls in the kitchen, so we are all covered for the pets in this home. Now, I am definitely filling out this home with furniture, but I feel like it is purposeful furniture. They have their family computer in the hallway with a little arts and crafts station for their daughter that their son probably used first. So it is a little bit cluttered in the furniture sense, but like I said, it's purposeful and it's not so cluttered in the decoration sense, so it still has that clean and tidy feel through the home. It feels like a lived-in family home where the mother does take good care in keeping things in working order. And I don't mean handiness wise, I mean functionality and general tidiness, because that is a whole job in its own. The bedroom, I strayed from my typical color scheme. I don't use a lot of browns, I don't use a lot of reds, and I don't use a lot of yellows either. This is a very mustardy brown looking room. I ditched the yellow rug. I don't think it quite was working here. I needed something a little bit less than that. So we do go a little bit less. The husband here is a neat and tidy person as well. He's got all his stuff in order to his little watch glasses and his reading tray. Their room is very simple in decoration, much like the rest of the home, and they have a nice little walkout to the backyard space as well. I believe there are two exits to the back. One is through the kitchen, yes, and then the other is through the master bedroom, which does have an ensuite to it as well. So there are two bathrooms in this home, one that the children and guests would share, and then one for mom and dad, just for them, which is a nice little added touch. The bathrooms aren't going to be anything super special. We'll hopefully zap through them fairly quick. I do give a little bit extra attention to detail and some clutter items when we are in the bathrooms, so if that's of interest to you, I feel like most people get bored by bathrooms, but you know what, every once in a while I have a really good time decorating a bathroom. I just go all out once and it's a vibe that I'm here for. So yeah, once in a while I get a really good bathroom in me, but for the most part they're pretty basic, pretty bland, pretty boring. They have an outdated feel to them, like the kitchen does in this home, which I'm not totally against. It's still clean and tidy and kind of classic and traditional. It goes with the clawfoot vibe that I'm going for in this bathroom. This is the main bathroom. You can see I'm trying to squeeze that laundry in there. I do the same kind of wall that I have set up in the kitchen for it, which I thought was kind of ironic when I clued in. I just end up getting an extra counter space. I feel like I'm getting tongue-tied a lot in this voiceover. I apologize for that, but we end up getting an extra counter space in here. I was decorating the bathroom like there was going to be a teenage daughter living here, but I think the child daughter is just getting ahead of herself because her mother is so well kept in her appearance that the daughter's got her own collection of hair supplies and lip glosses and whatnot in the bathroom. So that's her little clutter bit going on there. She's a little bit messier than her mother, and her mother doesn't use that bathroom often, so it's not a place that it bothers her. This is the master bathroom. I don't have any double vanities in this home, which I feel like is okay. Not every home will have them, so it brings in that touch of realism that I'm always looking for. I toyed around with using one of the new wallpapers, but they were too moody and extra for me for this home, so we went basic and neutral. We made it brown. This family likes their neutral tones, so nothing wrong with that. I am not 100% sure. It's something I do sometimes that I've never actually tested. I'm gonna have to change that. I'll do it in my not so berry, so I have to test it. But the curtains on the sliding doors, I'm not 100% sure if the door continues to work, but there is a second door to the backyard. It's not that big of a deal. And if it bothers you, just remove the curtains. It's not that hard. This room here is going to be the teenage son's room. I originally had the bed facing with the foot of the bed towards the door so that the Sims could get in on either side, but I thought really if they want to get down to business, they're going to scoot on over anyways, or just hit up the shower. So, or, mom and dad's bed, but in The Sims, it's not as weird as real life, so that's okay. We're not going to talk about it any more than that. But this is the teenage son's room, and because he is a little bit more dark and moody, he's got the navy wallpaper or paint in there and some red coloring throughout. He's got some horror movie art on his wall above his bed and an ad for an energy drink by his computer. Very teenage boy vibes, if I don't say so myself. Or if I do say so myself, I think is the correct phrasing there. And then he's got this little neat toy, I don't know, a little quirky on an end sitting on his desk. I like the zebra pattern rug again with the tongue tie here. I'm sorry, guys. Don't know what's going on with me today. And he does have a bookshelf that we fill in a couple things on. We've got a journal for him to write down all his dark, depressing thoughts, his song lyrics. He's going to be into music. We've got him the grim guitar here. I never have a good reason to use that guitar. This was the reason. This is a sim that needs that guitar. And a little plushie that he's maybe saved from his younger years that he still connects with. I also use this fun little mirror. I don't use it often, but it felt like the perfect space for it. It added a touch of personality. I feel like teenage boy rooms are hard to decorate. I do give him this stereo and I throw some like black and white pictures over it. I like to think that that's what he uses for his inspiration in songwriting. And then we do get him these lights hanging across the top of one side in his room. His sister is going to have some more delicate fairy light looking strands on her wall, and then these over the bed lights that come with high school years. I want to say I really love them, but I don't use them often because I feel like I could overuse them real quick. I also never use this rug from My First Pet Stuff because why would I? But it was the perfect color scheme for this girl's room, so we used it. And I know that this is a dog loving family, but the cat stuffed animal is just too cute and too snuggly. It was too girly to not use, so I do go with a little bit of a cat theme in this room anyways with the lamp on the desk. It's okay, it works. This here is the little reading nook that she's got going on in her room. I think it's so cute. I love that I used the 3 colors. Sometimes when I focus on just using pinks, it gets a little bit too overboard with the pink. She's also got that cute little flower neon sign and then just some little posters here. I like to think that they're maybe book posters of characters in a series that she really likes hanging over by her little reading nook. And then we've got her doctor kit for her to practice taking care of a little baby doll. And I do throw a nightlight in on her nightstand. If you don't already know, the nightlights help keep the monsters under the bed away, which is so annoying when you're playing the game and they're waking up your Sims every single night, and then that Sim is going and waking up your other Sims. It's just a whole ordeal at 2 a.m. Sim time, and things take so long for Sims to do. They end up losing out on a whole night of sleep. It's just frustrating. So no monsters under the bed with a nightlight. Nice little added touch. There, I got rid of the laundry machine and extended that counter, so that's all taken care of. And now we can move on to the other little guest pool house. It is just a studio and a bathroom, so we go very basic with the flooring. This was a quick renovation that I would say even the last owners of the home would have done, because it is a little bit outdated, but the countertops are definitely more up to date than the main home, so that is a nice little touch here. I actually was surprised by the amount of space that I ended up having in this little home. I feel like I could have gotten away with making it a little bit smaller for realism's sake, but I am happy with how it turned out, and it gives enough space for your Sims to comfortably live here, even move a partner in, have their niece and nephew over. It just has space to play the game. So it is nice that it is this large and it doesn't look too obscene from like the overhead view of the lot or the view from the distance. So it's okay how it turned out. Another thing I kind of forgot on this building as I was decorating it was windows. And then when it came time for me to put curtains on, I went, I don't have any windows to put curtains on. So I had to go through and make some space for windows. So I do rearrange a little bit of the wall art that goes up right about now, but that's okay. It still ends up maybe being there. I'm second guessing that now. I think I put it over the bed, but I can't promise. This is also the perfect excuse to use those sofas that don't quite match with, a love seat and only chairs, if that. So that's why I used the high school years sofa here. It's also in the color scheme that I wanted to go for. I'm using tulle a little bit more than usual nowadays, which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing, because non-mod users can still download this home, and while they can't really edit the item too much, they can still have it at the tulle size, or the lights will be already changed to a specific color for them. So I like it for that nice added fact. But it's not something I'm super familiar with, so not something I use overly often, but I'm trying to learn a little bit more. Here's where I'm getting those windows in. Basically, I decided as long as I could get a window on each side, I would be happy with this. So that's where we leave it, a window on each side. But it's okay. It turns out, again, it is just a pool house, so I don't feel like it would have a lot of windows to begin with. And, this is probably fine. It's fine. The bathroom, though, ends up being absolutely massive in this one. So she's got lots of space to do her acrobats or whatever. I actually decided to fill the space out with another washer and dryer. For convenience sake, she wouldn't have to go into her sister's home. And if you do make this two separate units with for rent, this sim won't have to worry about having to leave the lot. Although I do clue in right this moment that I don't give her a hamper, so it wouldn't be a bad idea to throw one of those in the bathroom. I might even do it for you before I upload to the gallery, but I don't like making those promises because I can't guarantee follow through. This girl forgets a lot of what she says, so bear with me. I delete that pathway that I had going up to where I wanted the second door originally, and I just fill the space in with a tree a little bit. I got some debug cars to put in their driveway to show that that's what that paved area was supposed to be for. And then I was having some technical problems with these fences here. They wouldn't let me put fences down because it was classified as being in the middle of a room, but then they would let me build walls in it. I don't know. The game was glitching out a little bit on me. I do something different with these garden beds. I fill them in with gravel, and then I put in oh gosh, what are they called? I'm blanking. It's not a hydrangea. It's these things. I'm so sorry. I can't think of the name. I know what they're called, but yeah, I'm blanking. They are from Cats and Dogs. I'll give you that. I'll tell you what pack they came from. But yeah, some desert themed plants. Maybe the better way to explain it would be ones that don't need a whole lot of water. So that's what I've got going on in the back here. I like the vibe that it brings. There's enough greenery that it feels lively and airy, but it's still very clean cut. I don't go overboard for their garden spaces. The front of the house is actually going to have the most going on with it, and even then I stick with these hedges and just put some pink flowers down in front. I didn't really know what color I wanted all the Sims to want for the outside of the home, like accent colors, so I just picked one. I hadn't created the Sims yet when I built the home. I kind of built the home and created the Sims around it, but I had done both at the time of voice overing, so it was easy to explain my thought process as I went, which was kind of nice. So yeah, this is as basic as we get for this outdoor decorating, landscaping. I'm going to go in with some terrain paint soon. You know the deal. I actually don't do the lighting on camera, but it is done. I think I clued in right after I stopped recording that I didn't go through real quick and change out the lights. So I do swap out the light fixtures before the walkthrough, which you will see shortly before that starts. I'm going to do my little wrap up now, actually. So thank you so much for hanging out with me during this speed build, listening to me chat about it, being here. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, show your support, help me get up there in the algorithm any way you're willing to. And most importantly, have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, guys.